All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Monday Night Football Showdown show here on the Ship It Nation YouTube station. Wrapping up Week 14, we've got the Eagles at the Chargers. A ton of news to break down in this one. We'll talk, as always, through the captains, roster construction, ownership, go through some of our thoughts on FanDuel at the end. Of course, if you're just joining us or here for the first time, tap that thumbs up on the way in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all of our free shows. We do have some social campaigns coming with the holiday season, so we'll ask for all the help we can get there. We truly do appreciate it. Got Title here with me and Hoop, and got to bring in my guy Title first. Title and Rio, the Bash Brothers, last night, fresh off the latest flag shippers out there, $21,000 just under. But Title, what's going on, my man? Fun game last night. Sweat right to the very end, too.
Yeah, definitely was right to the end, like most showdowns are. I actually didn't even really watch the first half. I watched the first two drives, and I was like, all right, I know how this game's going to go. Two good defenses, slow. I'm like, I can just watch the second half, and that'll be enough for me. So got lucky, like you always need to do. I'm not even going to lie. I actually think in hindsight, with how many dupes there was, I think it was a pretty bad team. 5-1 with the underdog that's chopped 22 times. I definitely thought it'd be chopped less. Just looking at the team, again, you always take it lucky. But we're not, we can't be results oriented. You always got to look at it. I think like if I knew that team had that many dupes going into it, I probably wouldn't have played it. But yeah, good to be lucky. Ran good at the end, and looking to keep it rolling for today.
Yeah, the best team. You got to have the best team to win, and that was the best team yesterday, and it got the job done. I think a lot of the teams up there, though, I was up there for a minute, and there was a lot of teams that were 30-way chops. It was just like the slate, the nature, the way the game went, everything yesterday. But I know, Hoop, you were talking pre-show. I'll bring you in, my friend. It's finishing up Week 14. Always fun to do these shows here with the group. But we were talking pre-show about this Texans defense, man. And I even said last night in the Discord, first of all, yesterday, quick note, Title had the 777. Anyone who watched our show, hey, it's a lucky day. It came through in the evening. But then also, finally, a team that's just coached solid enough. Like, end of the game, don't mess around. Run that thing 3 times. If you get a first down, even better. But if not, just get in that range. Get your kicker set up for the easy shot, and then be end with it, right? So, but what do you think, Hoop?
Yeah, I mean, the main takeaway just in regards to the game, obviously congratulations to Title and Rio for getting the job done, but just the game standpoint, man, that Texans defense is very good, and we were talking pre-show, like it's probably one of the better defenses I've seen in a while, like in the NFL in terms of dominance. And yeah, you can say whatever you want about the Chiefs, and maybe they're on their way out. The dynasty might be over, but they still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have Rashee Rice. They still have Xavier Worthy. Kelsey's still been somewhat productive, and they just stomped their ass and said, you're not doing shit today. And that's basically what happened. So it'll be interesting. And with everything being wide open in the NFL, again, we talked about, there's no like dominant team. Like it's open. Anyone that makes the playoffs this year, it seems like. I mean, there might be a couple outliers, but for the most part, a majority of teams that make the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run at the whole thing. And there's going to be some, like if the Steelers get in, I think the Steelers are drawing absolutely dead. Like they're not going to be one of those teams. But probably say at this point, anyone else, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run. And it's just it makes it so good for sports when there's parity like that in the leagues, and it makes it exciting. So it should be a fun run here through the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't get that across all sports anymore. We teased it before the show, but just breaking it down with like baseball and the longer seasons, NBA, some of the super teams, all of that. Everyone roots and cheers for whatever they please, but at the end of the day, you don't always get this crazy wide open scenario. We don't even get in the NFL every year, but typically there's teams that could show up on any given week, and we get some great football because of it. So makes it for a lot of fun. We still got tons of football ahead. We've got 2 weeks left of Ship It Games. You guys can go to shipitgames.com and check it out if you want to get in at the Nation. All the codes are still valid. We put some pricing changes up on the site. Go to shipitnation.com/join. Check it out, and we'll go through all of that at a future date just to break it down even further. But Title, kick it to you, man. Grand scheme overview. Yesterday was a big day for the nation before we get to the grand scheme overview, just putting it up on the board here. But yourself and Rio were just a part of that. We had Jonesy finish 7th in the $20 Millie Maker with the James Cook double goal line fumble scenarios. That was kind of brutal. We had T Jones, $200 into 6,000. Doug Craig turning 7,000 into 3,600. 8 positive ROI weeks this season so far, having a really good season. Said, my brain fights to overcomplicate the game. You guys streamline it. Keep doing what you do. So love hearing that. Kind of makes a lot of sense if you can put it all together. Schwank Bob, I think, was $5 into 750. And then K-Rish went on a run in the $150 3 max, 4th for 10K. Nades and I reviewed it this morning. The Shedeur Sanders was really popping in the stack rankings. And I know that's not for everybody, but if you did plug that in, like, you could just fit the natural stuff around it. Puka with Wilson, you're already different at that. You get like your James Cook and just suck it up that he had a bad game, but you get Josh Jacobs, you can get like Watson in there, and then an expensive defense and have a pretty good lineup that scored well. So all good things. What's your grand scheme overview here for tonight, Title? We got Eagles at the Chargers. Get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, the Shedeur stuff was crazy. I gotta say, I love the decisions to go for 2 on your first one. You trust yourself to at least get 1, maybe 2. But I hate the decision to take Shedeur Sanders off the field when the game's on the line, 2-point, and pretty much tell the defense what you're doing. Shedeur absolutely balled out, taking him off the field, going to Wildcat with Juckins. I know someone posted in the Discord the play would have worked. Like, it was well executed, or was poorly executed, well designed. I just couldn't imagine taking him off the field after the game he had. But just another week where we can bash coaches and their decisions. Andy Reid going forward on that 4th and 1.5 was absolutely brutal in the defensive game as well. But grand scheme overview, it's an Eagle slate, and Eagle slates mean pretty much no value at all. I think that's kind of what we're looking at today. The more middling stuff, the kickers, the defenses, Dallas Goedert, 5.4K. I don't know, not even Trey Harris really, but like when you go down to value, there's really no one. Jahan Dotson, 3K. Trey Harris, like I said, 3.2. Will Shipley, Tank Bigsby, Grant Calcaterra. Like, there's really not many options, which leads me to thinking some middling captains are definitely viable on this slate. And then when we're talking about the cheap punts, like, what do you want from Dotson? Is it a chance Shipley getting 5 is enough? I don't know. Like, we saw Dari Ngumbawale yesterday get in the box, and it wasn't enough on that slate. But for this, would that be enough at 1K? It's possible. So I think there's pretty much no value on the slate. Obvious studs to spend on. But Herbert spreads the ball. Like, obviously, his broken hand. Expect a lot of shotgun. Hampton's coming back today. Him and Vidal are going to be mixing and matching. So there's at least options when you do spend up. But yeah, I'm struggling with the value down below.
Yeah, so we just had that Dallas slate where there wasn't much value on it, and it ended up being like you could play anybody down low to try and make stuff fit. It ended up being Flournoy, who you needed, but that was a little, I mean, it all depends on what you think happens with this Eagle side of the ball, because the expensive guys are Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and then, of course, you got Ladd on the other side. But after that, it does kind of middle off. I guess you could say Devonta Smith up there at 8,400 or 12.6 at the captain. But, yeah, it depends. And then Coach Savage, Carter's been out for 4 days, talking about Jalen Carter for the Eagles. So there's a big conversation to be had there, Hoop, tonight, just around when we get to it. But, I mean, it can be part of your grand scheme overview, because the main thing is Omarion Hampton is back. He was good. I think he was kind of good, they said, like a week ago, but they held him out another week just to see. I know this week he finally got into like the blue jersey. If you go read about what that means, it's like he's ready to go at practice. So it's like he's definitely coming back, what we would expect to be maybe, Hoop, like a Bucky Irving situation, where when he first came back, the first was like, we're going to give it a go. If he's good, we go with it. But I don't know, maybe you see it a little bit differently and can help us guide through it. What are you thinking for the grand scheme overview here?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one, just from the perspective, no value. I mean, these teams are pretty straightforward. Like, what you see is what you get, and they're not going to bring in like random guys for big plays. Like the Eagles offense it's been bad, the offense overall, but it's consolidated. And the Chargers, I wouldn't necessarily say like consolidated, but like the pieces are the pieces. They're going to use the 2 running backs. They have the 3 wide receivers. And then Gatson has emerged as the, top tight end and a really legitimate tight end. So like it's very difficult when it comes to roster construction. I think people are going to be forced to more mid-tier sort of builds maybe for that reason, because the value is bad. I guess, the one important talking point is, what does a build look like? And, we talk about this quite a bit, where one of these cheap guys gets like 4 or 5 and is on the optimal. So if you're going that route, you have to envision what sort of build it is. And the build that it is, it's like 5 guys have very solid fantasy games, and then none of them go off. So you're looking for like 5 guys to probably be around like, I don't know, 20, 21, 18 to 23. Okay. Somewhere in that range, where 5 really good fantasy performances, but none of them go off. And then you just need a cheap guy to bring it all together and make it work. So that's the sort of build that you're looking for if you're just going to play a value guy and hope he does something. But we haven't seen a lot of that in the previous years. There hasn't been much of that. I mean, yes, it'll pop up here and there, and it used to pop up more when salaries were a little higher and pricing was tighter. But it's just not really the case anymore. So I don't really like those builds at all. I think you just got to look within these plays on roster construction. Are you going to play 5-1s? Are you going to play 4-2s? Are you going to, Vidal's a big talking point tonight because he's 7,400. He has a real price tag, and Hampton is going to be number 1 most likely, but it's going to be some sort of split. So, the main thing for me is like not even lack of value. I'd say like no value. Like there's nothing on this slate in terms of value, and that's like the main part of the slate today.
Yeah, and typically when that happens, I mean, it always comes down to this, but I think in general, it's the captain decisions that you make, which we'll get to in a second. It's the roster construction as a whole. It's the, again, this is like title always says, like you need luck to get it done. It's like the luck. Is it AJ Brown or Devonta Smith? And you left the right amount of money and decided to go to Smith, and it was his game instead of AJ Brown's. Is it Vidal over Hampton for $400 less? Like there's a lot of decisions like that on this slate. Is it QJ? Is it Allen? Or is it McConkey? And you start from McConkey and work your way backwards. So it's like, I do think it is going to come down to more of that. There is some, unique things that you can do in some of these cheaper guys to maybe make 5 of the big dogs fit if you want to hope that it goes that way. But Title, I'll go back to you. I'll let you take the captain thoughts first. Anything else from what Hoop said that you want to add on to, or just anything in general from a roster construction standpoint? The chat's already talking a little bit about things, but just get your final thoughts and then go into your captains.
Yeah, not really much. Like 3 3s will be played, 4 2s on both sides. I think 5 1s will be contrarian, kind of like most slates are. But I'm struggling at captain. I'm really like making a stand. I'm going to be playing a lot of teams, and I see myself playing a lot of captains at the end of the day. Part of that has to do with just, again, the lack of value and stuff. I think my player pool will be a little more condensed than usual since I don't want the Alcantaras and stuff. And again, the broad slate, I know I touched on kickers D, but like the combined ownership on all 4, 22% Elliott, 23% Eagles D, 25 kickers, 17 Chargers. Of the 4 spots, like that might be the most ownership we've seen or close to it combined. And again, that just shows people don't really want to go all the way to the lower tier, which brings me to captain, and just like, I want to find middling captains like the Goddards of the world. I really don't love Goddard though. He's fine. It just, man, these older, dustier tight ends, it feels like, just aren't getting the job done as much. I prefer Smith or AJ Brown. Gadsden I like a lot. He's the cheap or the middle tight end, cheap captain that I do think has a lot of upside. So he's one of my favorites at ownership. We're showing 6%. The receiving room for the Chargers is tough. All of them, Ladd's 8%. That's a little high, but QJ 3, Keenan Allen 3. They'll be in the pool, but the props are tough. Especially a team that wants to run the football first, and they get now Hampton and Vidal, so they could really pound the football and just keep rotating those guys if they want. I'm struggling with the Charger side more than the Eagles outside of Gadsden. I think Saquon, Hurts, AJ Brown, Smith, Gadsden are my favorites. Eagles offenses look terrible, but like you said, at least we know it's condensed. Let's just hope it's just AJ Brown or just Smith or just Saquon. I don't really know if I have leans with them. I really don't think I do at all. I see Brown and Smith half the ownership maybe as Saquon, Hurts, so I'll go that way if I had to choose. But I see myself playing a lot of captains. The last one, Herbert, I definitely want to play some Herbert because he could throw 3 touchdowns a day to 3 different people very easily, or 4. The only problem is he doesn't really have any rushing touchdown upside. The QB sneaks like with his hand. I don't know how much he'll be under center, and that takes away a little of my appeal. But yeah, it's really, really tough for me. I do know I prefer Eagles stuff over Chargers because I feel like it's more condensed though.
Yeah, I like that call too. I also think there's some interest to just the thought process. I hear a lot of people just talking about the same thing, the Jalen Carter thing, the running backs. Herbert's hand, et cetera. We'll get to all that when we go to the positions and even in the captain up top, like you just hit on some of it, but just noting like the Eagles play calling, they've been getting shit on all season for this. And then the news over the week has been that like they're going to keep Petula, which they did, but they're going to move it to a little bit more of Sirianni making some of these calls or maybe switching it up. I don't know if they will, but
is that even an upgrade? I've seen Sirianni make some dumbass decisions in terms of, him going for it against the Packers almost at midfield with 25. Like, again, I don't know. I haven't followed, but I don't.
What I'm saying is I don't think it can get worse, but it can
agree with that.
Probably stay equal. So it's like, yeah, that's the problem. But on any given game, I definitely think it's at least somewhat interesting if they do come out and kind of click together. I think people forget too, like it wasn't quite this time last year when everyone was all over the Eagles and complaining about others. So there's always something to complain about with the Eagles and these big city teams that people love and cheer for. And then like the Eagles turned it around completely and then ended up going on the run all the way on to winning the Super Bowl. So just, it wasn't the same situation, Hoop, but there's definitely a team here that can turn things around. They have a good offense. It's just, can they put it together and roll it out here? And it just depends on how you see this game playing out. But what's your thoughts when you're thinking of the captain spot up top tonight?
Yeah, in regards to the Eagles stuff, keep saying it, and I still think it's true. They won the Super Bowl last year, and you see a lot of times like these teams will have that hangover into the next season, but like they're still, I think, a good team. I still think they're going to turn it around at some point offensively, and I think they have a chance to make a run again this year. So I am, I guess, optimistic that they can find something offensively down the stretch. They have the pieces. They have the talent. In terms of the slate tonight, yeah, it's much cleaner on the Eagles side in terms of the captain, like Hurts, Barkley, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and then maybe some Dallas Goedert if you want. Like I always am in for some Goddard, so I will. I like to narrow it down as much as possible, but it is a tough slate to really narrow it down. It could come from anywhere. Like it's no strong lean on who does it for the Eagles. Like it could be any of the main guys, and then maybe even Goddard as well. So like it all goes to how many teams you're playing. Obviously, if you're playing, the more teams you play, the easier it is to play a bunch of different captains. If you're making one or two or three teams, then yeah, you're going to have to make some more difficult decisions. But for the MME people, it's easier. And again, to me, if I was playing and I have an allocated bankroll, I would go down in stakes in order to play more teams tonight. That's my opinion. I don't want to make the decisions up top because it's difficult. Like, I don't know, like we do this stuff for a living. And to me, it's very hard to narrow down like who I want to play up top. So again, playing 150, much easier to have that standpoint. I would drop stakes and play more teams if possible for that reason. But yeah, in on those Eagles guys, it's the main guys. And then on the Charger side, definitely a little more difficult. I am worried with the Herbert captain stuff just because there has to be some limitations. Like he doesn't run a ton, but like I can't imagine him taking off. And the game plan is going to be for him not to take off. They're probably going to try to run. They saw the success the Bears had last week. They're going to probably try to run it a lot. So I'm more worried definitely with the Charger side of things. I don't love Herbert. I'm always a Keenan Allen guy, but he had a hot start to the season and then just, nothing. I guess my favorites on the Charger side would be, I don't know, I guess Gadsden, Ladd, and then Quentin Johnson, probably in that order. Ladd, Gadsden, then I think Quentin's probably a little bit of a not distant third, but definitely it's Ladd and Gadsden, 1A, 1B, and then Quentin after that, more boom bust sort of play. But Eagle side's definitely easier. And like just to wrap it up, I said it a few times, but if you're playing for a certain amount, I'd try to drop stakes and play more teams today for that reason.
Yeah, and Title said it in his stuff, and it ties together perfectly what you said, but just for those not, again, like not everybody does this or wants to figure it all out and put it all together, but those here most likely do. So the thought process would be it starts with the captain. That's why we start with the captain. You got to get that right. If you only have one lineup tonight and your captain is wrong, it's bedtime early. If you don't have Barkley and he runs a touchdown in right away and already has 40 on the ground, doesn't mean he's going to be what's needed, but whatever you have is now behind as second quarter hits. And so, and then you're just gonna make, I'm done. if you can get your if you have a portfolio and you can get more captains, then you're going to have more outs to get the captain right, which means you're then going to have more outs to whatever is the optimal lineup at the end of the night. And yes, it takes a lot more pieces than just the captain, but that's the starting point. So to Hoop's point, no problem going down in stakes. I do want to really quickly do this for our guy, man. This is awesome news. Love to see this. So Nades and I just broke this down this morning, and I would assume this is, where's he at here, man? Just got to bring this up. You see Nick?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah, you got it, Nick. Thank you. I don't know how I lost it, but I'm assuming this is the Sheriff 99 because I know Fantasin is my guy, Guillaume, and Skyhoke is Skyhoke, Skylar Hoke from ETR, who does all the ownership stuff for PGA. But the Sheriff, it was a 150. I know it shows 200, 100, but just so people see it, it was 192.24. Two completely different lineups, not a dupe. Wow. But shout out to the Sheriff, 150K. Said got in via satellite. Thanks, Tambo, Hoop, and Title, the crew. So we appreciate you, man, and congrats to you. Very nice. Got in with a Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid. Got the Nakua Wilson secondary stack. Got the Jacobs Luther Burden secondary stack, and then got the Neal with the defense, and it landed him on Jacoby Myers. So on some of those the injury stuff there. So I mean, that's great, man. Just congrats to you.
Great team.
And off a satellite, very, very impressive. Love to see that stuff.
What was second and third place? Do you know what the payouts is for second and third?
It was 200, 100. That's why he got
200, 100. It's right on the right.
Show it as like
they chopped it
200 here, and it was chopped.
I just can't, man, like right on the dot to 2 decimals, 0.24 with different teams is wild for 100K.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, just, yeah. Congrats. What a team, though. Correlated nicely.
Man, so yeah, I guess like Stafford getting those points down the stretch, but they both had Jacobs scoring. Man, he really needed Luther Burden to catch that Loveland touchdown or something. That would have been, I don't think, fantasy.
I mean, literally 1 yard. That's wild. Like, this game is crazy.
No, that was awesome, man. I mean, anyway, off of a satellite, phenomenal stuff. You just love to see it. And that's what it's all about. Like what Hoop's talking about there, you know, go down in stakes to win up in stakes. You got to, play some satellites for lower dollars, win into the bigger tournaments, and then take on the 44. So yeah, he said, thanks. Such an awesome sweat, I bet. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't imagine. I needed Loveland, and he did end up getting the touchdown. It still didn't get me all the way to what I needed, but it was like, okay, I didn't. You never know what somebody else is out there sweating and how big of a difference that Luther Burden stuff would have been. I will hit my thoughts quickly, and then we'll go back to you, Title, on just the other stuff with these quarterbacks and stuff. But I said in the Discord earlier, I guess I have a few things. One would be, it is showdown, so playing both the running backs together, way more viable, certainly. And if it's a split and all of that, but at the end of the day, it still is a split. If Hampton and Vidal, if you think it's a split, I should say, between Hampton and Vidal, that's one side of the coin for certain. But I think like everyone just auto assumes that Jalen Carter out, boom, these guys are going to run all over them. That could happen. Harbaugh should be smart and run the ball and try and keep it out of the hands of the Eagles. All these things are shoulds, coulds, woulds, but they might not happen. Like if the Eagles get out ahead and if the Herbert hand issue, not under center as much, different things like that, all these factors could affect that. And there could actually end up being a scenario where they're playing from behind. They need to pass the ball a lot more. And on the Eagles side, when you have Hurts or Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Goddard, like we said, how condensed it is, that could just lead to that build being the spot. And I will say, I don't know if it was this exact line, Title, in the Super Bowl. What was the line in the Super Bowl for the Eagles versus
Worthy, Mahomes, Eagles defense, Elliott?
No. Sorry, my friend. And I would normally
3.5
a hard time and call that a line.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, we got it. There you go. The line for betting. Yeah, you got it. The line was 3 something, I think. And it was like, oh, remember everyone's like, oh, the Chiefs. And it was like, nah.
Yeah. The Eagles I was saying Chiefs. Hoop was saying Chiefs. You were all over Eagles.
I was on
the
Chiefs.
The one mistake you made was just Xing every Chiefs captain, even though you had it all right.
Yeah. The nice part about that, if you bet the game and bet the Chiefs, and I put a little on it, it's like there was never a doubt. Like you knew you were losing like right away, so it made it easy.
I live bet Eagles.
Okay,
the second quarter, I was like, I was on Chiefs and I was watching, and I was like,
I'm out on this. Yeah, but Tambo, it's a good point that, like you said, like the Charger can come in thinking they're going to run the ball and want to run the ball, but it's like, what's that saying? Like everyone has a plan. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, man, and that's applicable to everything in life. Like you can have a game plan, put in a ton of time, ton of effort, ton of analysis, and then that shit goes out the window when you get punched in the face.
I do think like Justin Herbert, some would say his face is very punchable. Harbaugh's, both John and Jim. I mean, definitely people would say those faces are punchable.
I
So
do gotta say though, man, Jim Harbaugh, nice ass dude. So did I tell you the story when his son was playing baseball in the same tournament my son was in?
No.
Cool. I mean, this is a cool story. And I always talk about the kid stuff and the golfers. Justin Thomas is still a prick for standing up my son and other kids. So Jim Harbaugh's son, if you don't like Jim Harbaugh, I think you're gonna like him a little bit more after this story. His son was playing the same tournament my son was in. His son's a year older. And it was like 30 minutes from my house, but that is irrelevant to the story. But he was there all weekend. It started on Thursday, went through Sunday. He was there every single day watching his son play. And all these kids, huge Michigan fans in this area, would go up to him nonstop. Can you sign this? Can you sign that? Can you take a picture with me? He sat there every single day and did not tell one kid no. And his kid was playing a baseball game. He would get up, take a picture, sign an autograph, interact with the kids. They'd come back on day 2 doing the same thing. He did not tell one kid no and was never annoyed with the situation. So that was really cool to see.
And how about that? That's the real question.
Yes, he did.
Heartwarming story, but was he rocking
with his dad too? His dad's obviously much older. His dad was like 80, so he's chilling with his dad. It was really cool to see. Really cool to see.
And our man Derek, we still know who this is. This is still the teacher in the building. He's got his at Derek-DFS Patriot 9503. But there's one for us, Title.
Absolutely.
I do hate that shit though, man. The guys in the UFC, obviously the toughest dudes in the world, but like after they lose, to come out, well, I had a hand injury and what do you say, he had neurovirus or something. It's like, dude, just like you got your ass kicked. Like I cannot.
He said he didn't want to be in a boring fight, but he tried to wrestle, which is he almost blamed me. I was like, no, you just got beat.
You're better to say it before.
I hate that.
You're better to say it before because you'll get respect. Hey, at least he still went and fought.
Yeah.
And if you win, you're like, I beat him with this and I got the job done. So I'm not gonna use it as an excuse later. I'm just gonna let you know straight up if you really got to tell people. That's up to you.
I just hate it because these guys fight for a living. So that every single fight they come into, these guys are probably dinged up a little bit. Like no one's going to be 100%. You're cutting weight at an insane rate. Like don't get your ass kicked or lose. And then after the fact, say you had this and that going on. Like I hate that.
I agree.
Only other thing I want to bring up tonight is, something Nades had brought up on I don't know if he brought up on the takedown breakdown or him and I chatted about it earlier, but I always shared just little tidbits and thoughts that we get throughout. But it was like a pretty big sample size. I know we always, I might run the banner on Nades right quick anyway, just for fun, but I will say the tidbit that he had was about the Hurts-Barkley lineups together. Again, one slate tonight, anything can happen, but it just the combo of them being together has not been often for a long period of time now. So I think tonight, even without the value, if you're struggling for value, just don't think that you have to force those two in. If they end up together, great. Maybe have some of those in your portfolio. But if you're hand building one and you're not taking Hoops advice, you say, I'm just going to play my lineup. It's good to roll. I'm going to see what happens. You might be okay with that. If you want Hurts in the up top, maybe it's not Barkley in the flex and you think it goes that way. Again, I'm not personally going to rule this out. I'm just letting you know some playing less lineups may be interested to know that. So I thought I'd put that out there. But you got AJ Brown, you got Devonta Smith, you got Dallas Goedert for the mid-range build. So I'm really excited about the Eagles side. And then if I go to the Chargers side, one last note that I'll make, and then I'll kick it to you, Title, for any further quarterback thoughts, is I think like Hampton captain. Like if he does or he doesn't, right? Like come in, have a huge game. He is back. Everyone's like, I'm going to tippy-toe around it. I'm going to play some of him, some of Vidal, maybe some together, et cetera, et cetera. Like let's just put him right up top and just find out what he's got. And if he is the guy still and could do it through the receiving. He could do it when he gets close to the end zone, whatever it might be. Definitely have interest in that thought as well, like the big game out of him versus just the, poke around for the flex only. But Title, I'll kick it to you for any other quarterback thoughts. And if not, you can go into running back.
Yeah, not really much quarterback thoughts. I'll definitely be playing both. Again, a little worrisome with Herbert because his rushing touchdown equity, but he has enough weapons. He could throw three or four different guys. Running back, yeah, I mean, it's a big talking point on the slate with Hampton returning. We're not really sure what the roles will be for both. It feels very, very confident that both Hampton and Vidal will get work. Do they ride the hot hand? Is it very similar? I see DraftKings has rushing props for 42.5 for Hampton, 36.5 for Vidal, 11.5 rushing attempt for Hampton, juice on the under. The thing is, they're not they're priced up, if anything. They're priced almost as if they're the only guys in the backfield. 7,800 Hampton, 7,400 Vidal. Again, props are much better for Hampton, and the pricing is so similar. So I am going to play Hampton, even though I expect him to be a third or 3 times higher owned. But I honestly don't really like either. I plan to be underweight both. Hope it is through the passing game, with Brown a little higher, Devontae Smith a little higher. I know they'll be higher owned, but I'm hoping that the Eagles fix the running game, or at least that both get 50 yards, but they don't do enough at their price. Saquon, I think's fine. Again, though, he's really disappointed this year. The price tag's up there. I think I prefer Brown and Smith if choosing Tank Bigsby, Will Shipley. They're hardly in the game, and they actually have a real price too. So I honestly do not like the running back room at all. I like the quarterback, receiver, tight end, and kickers defenses more than all these guys.
Yeah, the chat's talking about too. I think a lot depends on game script that you're building for, right? However you're building, whether it's within your portfolio, your 1 to 3 max, whatever it is. I definitely think that's the main consideration here, because like I said, like the Hampton stuff, if I'm putting him up top, I'm leaning that the Chargers are up, they're playing up, like that's that game plan. On the other side of it though, if I'm building for the Eagles to just come out and do sort of like the Super Bowl play where it's like, oh, it's such a close spread, it must mean this. Well, then maybe they just pound them. Well, then maybe neither of those running backs matter, because not only could it be like a 55-45 split, regardless of what the projections have right now, that's how it just could end up. And then it also is the fact they're both almost 8K. There's no set thing that says anything that it's going to be those two, outside of people just auto assuming that Jalen Carter out equals this. Maybe it did in other games. Everyone, look yesterday. James Cook ran all over Pittsburgh the week before. Derrick Henry would be a good tournament play. He got 24 carries, 94 yards. Why didn't he get 144 yards like James Cook? Why didn't he get the touchdowns? It can change week to week. And so it's like lots of things make sense on paper. They don't always play out. So I'll kick it back to you for, I don't know if you had anything else at quarterback, but if not, you can give your spin on the running backs, and then we'll go into wide receiver after that.
Yeah, nothing else to add really at quarterback. I mean, definitely fine with, Herbert more in play and flex than captain for me, and then Hurts obviously in both. But just looking at this running back stuff, like if the numbers are true, like Hampton, 30%, like is that legit? Like right around 30, we're showing 28. Sabre has it around 30. Man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and I haven't done this label in a while, but if that's true, it just has to be like the worst play on the slate. And I would play Vidal over him at like the same price tag, and then just hope Vidal gets more work than the projections are planning for, and you're getting way less ownership. And Vidal's been good. I think it's definitely closer to like 50-50 between those two. So Hampton's got to be just a terrible play. But to your point, like if you are going to play him, maybe just put it up top and he goes off and gets the 2 touchdowns, falls into the box. I know we're not allowed to say that, but falls into the box a couple times. That'd be open. But playing him in the flex, I think, is just a terrible play. And then these other guys, like it's not like they're free. Like Tank Bigsby's 2,600, Shipley's 2K. I just I don't know. I can't do these guys. It's got to do. I mean, Barkley, yep, fine with Barkley, but the rest, like I can't click it. I think a majority of you guys are just awful plays on the slate.
Yeah, I think what people could do too is just the ownership is probably closer to right, but what you're saying is the projection might not be closer to correct. So it's like, again, that's a no ball spin that you can put on it. But if the ownership is right, and I think it probably is, like the props lean into this, projections across the industry lean into this. It's like Hampton's good. He's fine. He's coming back. He'll be good. He was so great before. Yes, Vidal stepped up in the interim, but that's fine. They're going to go back to Hampton. So you could just change the projection right in there and customize it that way and just swap the projection or make it closer to, like for us, if it's 11.8 in the flex on Hampton and 5.5 on Vidal, and these are not final, I'm just noting sort of the thought process, you could just make it like 9 on Hampton and then give the rest of it over the 2.8 to Vidal and see what that does for you. But the ownership's probably close to right. So I would keep it that way and see what that looks like. So I just think some of that stuff is a way to approach it. Title, do you have any different way you approach that? I know I was going to let Hoop go into wide receivers, but any other thoughts on that when you sort of have a no ball spin that you want to put on stuff within a portfolio?
Yeah, to be honest, I've gone back and forth. I've done the min max, but listen to Sheets, listen to Rio and sharp people like that. They like boosting the projection a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start trying that. Usually like there's so much going on Sunday morning and stuff. Like I'm scared I boost the projection a little too much. Then I get like 70% instead of 25. And then I'm already back to using the max exposure. So I got to mess with that a little more, but I'm definitely have been min-max. Rio Sheets better SaberSim people than me. They like the projection more. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's the key too, is that I've definitely had conversations with people over at SaberSim as well on this. Like our team of support has been awesome there. And like things like adjusting the projection, especially if you're an ultimate user with the contest sims, you will also get a much more accurate contest ROI based on that as well. Because when you swap, when you just do min max, it's like, yes, you'll get more Vidal, but you're playing more of a poorly projected on paper, but you know why you put them in there, because you're comfortable with you're saying their projections more, just give me more, but you're not taking the time to adjust it accurately. But that's fine, because then you just have to accept lower contest ROI, knowing that what you did was for the right reason. So again, it's not for everybody, but just noting it. I think it's important to think about those things. But for most of those out there doing it, I would say adjust the projection. And with something like that, I'm not trying to like over complicate it for people. I'm just saying I would simplify it. And if you're docking Hampton too, I would just give them directly to Vidal. You don't have to stress about, well, this, that, or the other, unless you're playing around with game script and flow of like, well, what if the Chargers are throwing more and you're boosting up all the pass catchers and dropping down all the others? Yeah, the box is a good place to be. Love a good box. Yeah, if you can fall into it. I don't know if that's a good thing, but the box, that's good. I like that one. Hoop, I'll kick it over to you, man, for wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like, the guys. I mean, on the Eagle side, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and then you can throw Dotson into the category of guys where you're building teams and you just need a cheap guy that does something. Very limited upside. And, I mean, the problem with the cheap guys on the slate is, like, they're not, like, super cheap. Like, he's still $3K, and we just talked about those backup running backs, $2K, $2,600. It's not like we're talking – in the hundreds for a price. So it does make it very difficult for to play a guy like Dotson. If you are playing him, I kind of go back to that same point. I definitely prefer it in a Jalen Hurts captain team, and he finds him in the end zone, and you get the double points that way. On the Chargers side, it's Ladd, it's Quentin, it's Keenan Allen, and the next guy to throw into that mix is Trey Harris, and it's the same thing as other cheap guys. He's 3,200. He's not completely free, doesn't have a high projection. What does he need to do to be on the optimal? To me, it's like probably into that category that we talked about. You got the situation where 4 or 5 guys get between 18 and 24, and you just need them, and then whatever one of these cheap guys does is enough. So. But it's difficult at that price point because these guys are still pretty close to the kickers and defense as well. So I don't know. I don't love it outside the main guys, and that's kind of not the problem with this slate, but the conundrum on the slate where everyone's going to kind of be looking at the same stuff and say, do I really want to play Trey Harris or Jahan Dotson or Bigsby or Will Shipley? Like that's the difficulty with this slate. But again, it's not unbeatable. Obviously, there's different things you can do, but it's tough to get excited about anything outside of the main guys at most of these positions, and wide receiver is no different. And just to rank them, I would say for me, like A.J. Brown, Ladd and Devonta Smith, Quentin Johnson, and then like Keenan Allen.
Yeah, kind of like Ladd at his price, squeezed in between Smith and Brown, but definitely agree with a lot of that. And the Trey Harris thing, he's been out there a lot, so maybe he's the guy at 3,200 if you got to get a value in there. Title, what's your thoughts here at the wide receiver position tonight and how you're handling it?
Yeah, kind of like Coop mentioned at the end, they're still close to the kickers and Ds, and that just brings up in the beginning, the kickers and Ds are going to be owned because they're a lot more comfortable clicks, project a lot better than the guys below. I definitely prefer Trey Harris and Jahan Dotson to Will Shipley and Tank Bigsby, though, in the same range. They'll just be on the field more, full point PPR, like 3 carries for 10 yards or 1 catch for 3 yards. You just got the 1 catch beat it. So Trey Harris, I do prefer to Jahan Dotson as well. Like you said, he has been on the field more. Keenan Allen's been the one that's been off the field more or hurt the most from Trey Harris. His snaps going up, but it's clearly right now Ladd playing the most, then QJ, Allen, Trey Harris pretty close after that, but they all do rotate. I think AJ Brown is. I'm just going to keep doing it. I prefer him in the captain than the flex. Whereas Devontae Smith, I think, is fine in both. It just feels like there's the floor's low, the ceiling's high for AJ. So I do always prefer him there. Ladd, Keenan, QJ. Do I have a lean? Not really. I think they're all fine. I think Devontae Smith is my favorite receiver, though. Again, I do prefer the Eagle or favorite receiver in the flex. I do prefer Eagle stuff more to Charger stuff because it's more condensed. And AJ Brown, it just feels like, man, you never know which AJ Brown you get. So I'll take my chances up top, and I prefer Devontae Smith. You can always go any AJ Brown team to Devontae Smith very easily, though, as well. $600 we have in savings, and we only have a 0.5 projection difference. That also helps me lean that way a little bit too.
Yeah, Kenny brought this one up. It had people in and out of my office. The story of this already covered. Can't remember who covered it, but there was concern about Herbert, assumedly in shotgun. Apparently stats are bad. I would say, I think I saw this same thing. I forget who posted it, but again, Tua is horrible in cold weather until they score 34 points yesterday. The Tennessee Titans are absolutely horrible and should never be able to put up 30 points, and then go into the dog pound where teams like the Ravens and the Packers and others have gone into and lost, and the Titans put up 31. So it's like anything's good till it isn't. But
it's like you can take that and apply it yesterday. Look at all those weather games. They all scored a lot more points than projected.
Yeah,
one game.
That's what I'm thinking. Again, it just I'm going to build for these scenarios. So that's my thoughts. I know sort of when some look at it, there's thoughts about like going the Chargers. And one thing I know tonight for sure, just going back off the top, and then we'll kick back over for more thoughts. I think, Title, do you still have to talk about wide receivers? Maybe I'm missing
No, I just did.
Okay. Just getting all these thoughts. But the other thing is, like, I don't think 5-1s are going to be as popular as like some are mentioning them tonight, but just the way it sets up when you've got 4 good Eagles, at least maybe 5 if you want to include Goddard with Brown, Smith, or maybe Smith is the odd man. I don't know, but people like Goddard usually, and he's cheaper. So just using those 4 to 5 options. And then on the other side, even if people aren't comfortable with Herbert, even if they're not comfortable with the running back room, one of McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Gadsden, and Allen, like people will just pick their poison, or whatever the outside wide receiver stat matchup from the last 3 weeks tells them. They'll pick their poison and just roll with it. So I think just 5-1s in general, you could tell that story tonight, so I'm good with that fully. It's just, if you're going against that thought, I'd be fine with stacking up the Eagles too. So anything else, Hoop, that you got to add? If not, we could talk about the tight ends. I don't have anything else to add at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, tight ends can be pretty quick. I mean, there's just 2 playable guys. I think Gadsden, who I think we all like, and I think he's a totally fine option, and a fair price tag at 58. You're just going to need these middling sort of price tags. So he's going to be owned for sure, but there's really no way around it. I think he's a really good play, and I'm fine with him up top. And then Dallas Goedert at 5,400. Again, you're just going to need these price tags, so he'll be owned. And I am more open to playing him in captain than Title is. And maybe it does get increased a little bit, the ownership, because people are going to go and build teams and be like, man, I can't play these cheap guys, so just give me some of these mid tiers. So maybe they do steam up a little bit, but it's just almost like a necessity on the slate. So I'm good with both of them, both fine plays, and I just can't play any of these cheap tight ends. So pretty straightforward at this spot.
Title, you got anything different there when it comes to? I know you weren't super high on any of these guys beforehand. I got one thing, but I'll kick it to you first. Anything else you got?
I do like Gadsden a lot. I think he's one of my favorite plays at the price. Now, I do think he gets steamed, and I think Goddard gets steamed. I think Gadsden has a lot of upside for the price. Goddard, I don't love as much. Like Hoop said, I'm playing a lot of teams. If you see me win with Goddard up top, do not hate me. But yeah, just in a vacuum, I do not like it as much. Backups are, I mean, what is 2.7 enough? Maybe like one catch, like probably not on this slate, but that's the reason you're playing them. Value is so bad.
What if a $1,600 guy gets you 6?
I would have like 70%.
All right. Well, it just came up. The first name narrative is there. It's not because his name is Tyler, but I do remember where I got this one from. And again, we'll see how it actually goes tonight. I think it's very interesting, but my friend Jeff Feinberg posted this out, and I actually thought it was pretty interesting. Is if you remember, Conklin would run the tush push for the Jets when they get up there, and they're not going to be tush pushing it tonight with Justin Herbert. And I know they've got Trey Lance; they could just run him in and do it for sure. But the 18-1 anytime touchdown on Tyler Conklin, chuck $10 on it. Like I thought
down to 15 to 1 on DraftKings. I don't know if
people
it
are
was
betting
on,
it. People are betting it probably since he posted. It was an interesting thought that I was like, oh, what if? And on a value play perspective, does this happen? Almost, completely unlikely that this happens. And the odds are still horrible for anytime touchdown for a guy like this too. But it would make some sense if you've got an opportunity. And think about if Herbert's throwing it wild, you got guys like McConkey and Johnston and Allen and them just flailing for the ball. And next thing you know, we got a passer interference and it's time to run it in. Maybe.
If there's thought behind it and literally a tush push is 6.1 points, you get 0.1 for rushing and 6. I would take that right now down below now.
And they talked about it too for like a value thought on this slate. Tucker Fisk not in as well. I know people, obviously there's Gadsden already. And then there's, Will Dissly, I think, and everything else they've got on the go there. But just noting it, I thought it was interesting. And I loved how you framed that. It's probably not good, probably not bad, probably not that ugly, but I would say it's thought provoking. If there's something like that where I'm like, can put some actual thought behind it, it's not just throwing shit against the wall. Maybe it is, but I could just take it from that perspective. So I don't have too much.
He's 1% too. Like, you know what I mean? Like making a case for a 1% play at 1,600 can never be terrible.
Yeah. Shout out to MGM 19 to 1. They're not afraid. Give them the money on that thing. Plus Hampton first game back from fractured ankle, maybe not jamming. Hey, anything can happen. If it hits, it'll be a fun one. And shout out to my guy Feinberg. Hopefully all is well with him. But I think anything like that is always interesting. What was your say? What did you say earlier? Sorry, title on like Calcaterra. I know it's not like it's a big percentage. It's like 2 instead of everybody else at 0.5, but seems like some people do go for him first over other opportunities. It's like Noah Gray. They always go to we'll go to Noah Gray instead. And it does like nothing, but Calcaterra feels like that guy.
Yeah. I played a lot of Gray yesterday. Did nothing. Literally the last catch of the game was Gray. I don't know. Is 3 enough? Like he's on the field a little bit, but it's blocking. It's hard to get excited for him at all. Jahan Dotson, Trey Harris, even though I know they're a little more expensive, probably my favorite. It was week 1 this year, week 1 or 2. I think it was 1, the first game of the year. Jalen Carter, when he spit on him that first game, but he caught like a 58-yard seam route, and that was enough for 7 points or something like that. So I'd rather that.
I think he doubled AJ Brown with that same score.
Yeah, he did.
The way it goes, but I think people just like the Calcaterra wine mixer. What was it? The Catalina wine mixer from the movie? Like
Step Brothers.
Yeah, it's so good.
You've seen Step Brothers, right, Title?
Yeah, that's one of the few.
All right. Just I always got to make sure with Title because I'm bad with movies and things like that. But Title's like way worse than I. Way worse. Like way worse.
We got 10 minutes. Probably 10 minutes left in this, but let's say I want to get Title today. The last 5 minutes, we do food, we do everything. I didn't know this movie thing because we might be on the same page. There's a lot of good movies that people swear by that I haven't seen. And now it sounds like Title and I could be aligned on that. So
you probably even know like 7 times as much as me.
Yeah, Title is like
nothing.
We'll get to that. We got to get to that. But that's the thing. He's a grinder, man. The absolute best. And I love it for him. Him and Rio winning last night. That's 2 of the hardest working guys in the game out there and getting it done. And I love to see that type of shit on top of all the rest of the community coming through and finding wins over the weekend. It's always a good time inside the community at Ship It Nation. Let's round it up.
I will say on Step Brothers real quick because we'll hit on all this at the end. But that is like one of the only like if I watch a movie once, like I can't watch movies multiple times. Like once I watch it once and that's it. Like it's over. Like I'm not going to rewatch a movie. Step Brothers though, if that's on TV, like if I'm flipping through the channel and I see Step Brothers, I will stop and rewatch that. That's like one of very.
We're talk about rewatchables. We'll spend a few minutes today. This is a fun topic, and people are already trying to dial in because people love movies for sure. It's part of the. We did the food culture. We'll stick with that for some, but Title we'll go to. And I know you never seen Shawshank Redemption because I've never even seen that one. No, I barely know enough about it. And it's like, I forget who's in it now.
Oh God, they're already coming at me. I made one statement. Like it's like the food and movie stuff, man.
I like the word strange.
One thing we got to stay on track for.
He doesn't rewatch movies and burns his meat. Like, man, what a strange person.
Burns his meat.
So let me say this so we can get to this because now I'm excited. The one thing tonight, and I don't know if it's right, but currently the ownership on defenses still shows quite high. Kicker still is higher, but there's like no chance to me that by the time we get the final update, this is the way it is. Like, I know they're value plays, but it's Jake Elliott and it's Dicker the kicker. Like, people are definitely playing them. It's Elliott on an Eagles defense or offense that hasn't been able to score points because they have to kick them. And then it's Dicker the kicker. And now it's like Herbert's hand is banged up and everything. I think we see all-time highs on kickers tonight. And I also think we see them in the captain tonight based on a bit of a conversation we didn't have earlier. It's definitely going to be that. But Title, do you have thoughts on kickers and Ds?
They're going to be played a lot. Like, totally agree with the reasons you said. But defenses will be played because both defenses are cheaper than both kickers. Dicker's $5K, Eagles D 4,400. That's 600 there. Chargers defense 3,600. You're right there comparing to Trey Harris to Jahan Dotson. There's Calcaterra cheaper. Like, Chargers D even projects better for all, or better than all of them. So I think people will try if they can to have the defense. The Chargers defense is the lowest price option in their teams. Just know that going forward. Trey Harris, the more I look at it though, he's the guy below that if I had to make a stand or like to be on the optimal, he'd be the one I'm most confident in. But it looks like he's probably, of all the guys down there too, probably getting one of the most ownership. So yeah, I'm going to play all four of them. We need to on this slate.
What do you think, Hoop? He's so fired up talking about movies.
Already locked in.
Look at
Locked
this
into the
smile, man. All teeth. This guy.
The defense will just have to get a decent bit of ownership just because there's not many cheap plays. So I would be careful with that because I do think they could get to a point where they're not great play. Oh, I guess I never think they're good plays, but like I think they could get increased ownership, or they will, because of the dynamic of the slate. Kickers I think are great. Prefer Dicker over Elliott, but both are probably necessities on the slate.
Yeah, I do think, like, again, we won't show a ton of this right now. I mean, it currently shows Eagles could be higher owned than the captain, I guess, but I honestly think that, even just doing some dry runs and stuff beforehand too, like these kickers are value plays that pop up top. And that's where it gets a bit tricky because, like, do you play Cameron Dicker or Jake Elliott in the captain, or do you play Goddard or Gadsden for just a little bit more, and then you're still able to find it? So I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting slate. I think it's going to come down to just the roster construction and the captain selection of the common pool. I'm more so saying it always comes down to that, but I'm more so saying I don't know that it's going to be like a diamond in the rough guy, unless it's Tyler Conklin. And if it's him and he gets that touchdown, then baby, let's go. I'm going to have a good night. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of it goes. Title, did you have any final thoughts on this? And then we'll go to Hoop and look through the FanDuel side of things, see if he sees anything there.
Yeah, what would you guys want from your kicker to be up top? 13? Is 13 good on this slate at that price and roster construction wise?
I think you need more, because if that's, I definitely could see both getting 13 easy. So maybe that's why it is popping up, but I could see that being a possibility for sure. And then you 1.5 exit and you're in a solid spot. So yeah, I think there is a
upper teens, I think.
Okay, that makes me like it a lot less, like 16 plus in a total.
That's what I'm
of
kind of
40.
thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
13, doable. 16, 17, it's pushing it a little bit. But again, the more lineups you play, the more you can have in your portfolio. If I was playing 4 teams, I wouldn't have any kicker or D up top personally.
Yeah, we'll have it all covered over on the site as well. But I think once the final update comes in, we'll have a better feel for it. And then, like I said, the ownership will be adjusted. Everything will be ready to go. You can play around with your lineups now, but I wouldn't finalize them until we get, everything. And we might get even more news by game time or things that you want to make, stands on, things like that. So yeah, we'll wait and see, but thought that was good. Hoop, there is a couple things I saw right away. I don't know if you found any others, but like Quentin Johnston is the exact same price on both sites. So $7K on FanDuel, the same as, for example, like Ladd McConkey's 8,800 on DraftKings, 10.6 on FanDuel. Quentin Johnston, exact same price. And there was one more too. Goddard went way up, 5,400 to 7,200.
Yeah, that was the one that stood out. So yeah, Gatson way cheaper than Goddard on FanDuel for sure. Devonta Smith way cheaper than AJ Brown on FanDuel. Looks like an $1,800 difference. Vidal more expensive than Hampton, $600 more expensive. Come down like these, like Dotson at 4,600, Trey Harris 52. Like, it's even nastier over here. Like, it makes it very difficult to click those names. I mean, it's already difficult on FanDuel. It's even more so over here. It's really the same story, a couple pricing differences. I would definitely say the Gatson Goddard thing stands out. And then like Devonta Smith, way cheaper than AJ Brown, McConkey in between those guys. Quentin Johnson, yes, Quentin Johnson at 7K, I think is a good play on FanDuel. That's pretty cheap relative to everything else. So yeah, a few things there.
Maybe Elliott won't be as popular either. I was just looking. I did a Hoops Little Game Log watch, and I guess I've thinking about the chat bringing it up, and then I went and double checked it just to look it up and see. Always love the comments of the engagement. It helps us out, and it's just fun. Said Eagles would rather go for it on fourth than kick the field goal. Yeah, it's been a bad scene for Elliott. It's mediocre across the board, but even for Dicker, 9, 8. He did have a 14 and a 15, but that was spread between 11, a 7, a 6, and a 5, then a 17. There's been ups and downs, but I feel like on this slate, you probably need more like those 15 to 17s than you would the 12 to 13. So, Title, anything you saw there with the FanDuel side of things?
Yeah, the Johnston Goddard, 200 less for Johnson on FanDuel, 1,600 more on DK. Interesting. Hampton and Vidal is the big difference. Hampton's actually going to be pretty popular on FanDuel at 8.2K, Vidal 8.8. But, I mean, it's $1,400 difference from Devontae Smith, 24 from Ladd, and it just keeps going up. There's a bigger difference from the top tier guys to Hampton, and if it's scoring better, half-point PPR touchdowns mean more. So Hampton will definitely be pretty popular. And the last thing to note, I don't remember exactly what showdown it was, but I mentioned like in some optimals, it was guys almost projected at 0 at stone punts. That's the same case today for the reason like Hoop said. Dotson 4.6, Tanks Bigsby 3.6K. Like instead of just playing them, people will go all the way down to a Will Dissly or Calcaterra 1.2, 1.4, legit 1.8 points could be enough on FanDuel if all those guys blank like 4K and below and what it gets you up top. So even tighter pricing on FanDuel. And the last thing that just made me laugh, someone brought up Aubrey, and it's like we talked it into existence that one day. We were talking about should we get 6 points for the 60-yarders, and there it went. So that made me laugh too.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's just crazy, man. If kicker isn't going full Aubrey tonight, don't do it.
Yeah, literally talked about should they get 6, all that, and there Aubrey goes, effortless.
60.
Yeah, people take that too literal. That's a side tangent. Was like, I play the kickers all the time. We've been doing it for years. Playing 2 kickers when people were so mad about it. All I was saying is you can still do something and not love how the system is. Like it's all the time. Like I don't love, make fun of Hoop all you want about the well-done steaks. I don't like paying $80 for a steak. I think that's ridiculous, but it's whatever. It's just standard. You go to a steakhouse, you pay whatever you pay and you eat the steak and move on. I think the scoring for the kickers is like I said in golf. If the birdie is 3 and the eagle is 8, that makes sense. An eagle's much harder to get than a birdie. But then why is a bogey -1 or -0.5 and a quadruple bogey is -1? It's like it goes up by 0.5 versus 5 points. That doesn't make as much sense. No. A kicker kicking a 50-yarder, which nowadays is freaking casual. Like I said, you can go look up 9-year-olds on YouTube. I'm not looking up 9-year-olds on YouTube. I'm talking about people looking up kids kicking field goals on YouTube. And there's kids that are able to kick a 60-yarder. It's like it's their job. They do it. But to get almost as many points as a 40-yard grab that's out there, like on the sidelines, pull it down, get it done. Like no skill points, I guess, but just noting it's crazy to rack the points like that. Like Stafford could throw a touchdown, get 4.2, and the whole point was he couldn't throw a touchdown, but then you give the kicker 5 for booting through what they couldn't get. I think the scoring system is a little bit aggressive, but you got to play that to your advantage was the main point, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone deals with the same thing. We could think some things make a little more sense, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got the same deck of cards, same that.
And this is an interesting comment too. By the way, my wife does not approve of the stash. I'll tell you what, I've never had more women involved. Like,
I was gonna add in because
crazy.
Mrs. Hoop. She goes, does Tambo still have the stash going? I said, yeah, he does. She goes, is he gonna ever shave it off or keep it going? I said, I don't know. It's been going for a while, but she's interested as well. So the wives are interested.
It's insane, man. My wife's like, geez, buddy, what's going on? And my wife likes it, so we're good. So yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. A little bit more masculine.
You got more attention now. You got more attention from the married women.
Mustache brings more attention for sure. All right, let's do this. If you guys got more stuff you want to talk about, by all means, but let's just see. Just saw this site had both kickers and both defenses having a 5 in the ones. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Not too worried about that, I guess. What else? This one's good. Tambo looks so good with the stash. Without, he looks like the demon baby from Pat. I know I haven't seen that movie. I know Title hasn't seen that movie either.
No, I'm about to look it up.
All right. The biggest one they want to know right off the top is about Rounders. Okay. It's a poker movie. You're playing poker till all hours of the morning. Have you not seen Rounders?
No.
Wow,
I've been recommended for
That's
like
bad.
literally probably 2.5 years to watch that movie.
That's bad.
And
Man,
they didn't have
really
it on
bad.
the airplane home from Greece. I haven't watched the movie, unless a Christmas movie on the background, probably like 4 years.
So
Well,
now
it's
that
like-
it's over and people can just leave if they want, frame it up for the people. Why don't you watch movies? Is it just because you're too busy doing all the other things? Is it like if it can't make money watching a movie? What sort of the
Yeah, I mean it's damn near like I'm obsessed right now with poker, DFS. I have a wife, like I got to spend time with her and do stuff. There's something in the background. If I have any bit of free time, I'm probably playing online poker or studying poker. So
Oh, you
yeah,
were supposed to watch a movie Friday night. I know that much, and you
Yeah.
weaseled your way out of that one. So, what movie were you guys going to watch? Do you know? Or
I
you're
don't
just
know.
showing? You're just showing up and whatever she puts on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I was at the poker table instead until 3:30
Yeah.
a.m. So
Yeah.
I try and find something that it's probably bad, money driven, but that can make me money, or I'm spending it with friends or family. So that's it.
what about with the wife though? Like doesn't she ever want to watch movies?
Usually she just has like a show on in the background or stuff, or like right now football. We have football on Monday. We got football on Thursday. There's late swap NBA. That's the worst, having to go rotate in. So not really. I go to bed early too. Like if I'm not playing poker, I'm in bed at like 8:30 or 9.
Well,
Damn.
you got to watch Rounders. I mean, Hoop says
Yeah.
you rewatch movies. I don't rewatch a ton. I barely watch movies as is, but I will say Rounders I have definitely watched like over 40 times without exaggerating. Like I've watched it a lot of times. So
Well,
it's,
like the movie industry has definitely changed recently. Like when we were, I don't know, like 15 years ago, there's new quality movies coming out all the time. Now it's like it's all dog shit that comes out on these streaming services, and there's like nothing good. Like there's not good movies anymore. It's like
I
these-
agree. Going to the
there's
theaters
nothing.
back in the day, like
Yeah.
that. I like that for good quality movies. Funny. I mean,
Yes.
the comedy has been removed from half these things. They're afraid it could be canceled or something. I don't know.
Yes, it's terrible.
survival mode, no time for negative EV, fake movies. Yeah. I will
Attaboy,
say
Josh,
that's
you get
something
it.
I've always hated is movies that like, or even like books, same thing. Like if it can't at least be real or there's like some perspective or something, I don't fully enjoy it either, but I think it's interesting. So
I like documentaries and stuff like that. So I guess like if I really had to choose, like I would do something like that. The Tim Donahue reffing thing I thought was very interesting.
our man
yeah,
Kevlar
yeah,
watched 200 times
See, I
Rounders.
I
can't do
believe
that.
that. He loves poker.
The problem I have with movies, the reason I don't watch many of them, like I'm not ever fully paying attention to the movie. Like if I'm watching a movie, I'll have my laptop up, I'll have my phone going. Like I have I'm never just shutting everything down and watching a movie. So like I don't fully pay attention, so I don't remember what happens in a lot of
Maybe
these.
you got to get the G Ryzen J by you, hit a couple of that, and then you'll just zone in and
Just
pass
get
out.
locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Let's see what you guys want. Give us some more movies you want us to test title on. What are some of like the main movies you think of when you hear people talk about them all the time? Like you said, everyone always recommends
Happy Gilmore, Sandlot.
You haven't seen Happy Gilmore?
Oh no, I'm saying movies that I like have seen.
Oh, I was
like,
gonna say, what the
the
hell's
most
going
basic
on?
of the basic ones that I have seen.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Okay, so you've seen those movies.
Like I would literally Rounders would be one of the first ones. I've heard it from like everyone that I would turn on and like watch. So if I
Yeah, you
haven't
would
watched that, I haven't watched these.
You'd like that one.
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Oh no,
I
I've seen
never
Wolf of
seen
Wall
Pulp
Street.
Fiction either.
I've seen Wolf of Wall Street for.
This is a good
for,
one. I'm
Jerry.
not really into a lot of
Oh,
the
sorry.
army
You're good.
stuff, but like Saving Private Ryan was a really good movie. That was like a really, really good.
Have seen that.
Yeah,
I saw
was a
that.
quality one.
You seen Forrest Gump?
Yep, I have seen Forrest Gump.
Any Given Sunday?
No,
You never seen Any Given Sunday?
no.
That's a pretty good movie.
Very good. Wolf of Wall Street, really
Seen
that's
that. That's
quality.
good.
Blindside, very, very good movie.
That's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, very good.
What prompts you? I'm so curious by this. So what prompts you to watch? Like you nodded at Wolf of Wall Street and Blindside. Like these were automatic.
Blindside, I think I watched like 9 years ago when I was driving up to Michigan. We used to have drives that we drove far away. And we had a little TV screen, yay big, in the van, and we sat in the back. So that's almost all the movies I watched was from as a kid and like the little teen years growing up driving to places. So I watched movies that distracted me, and that was one of them. Wolf of Wall Street, I don't know. I don't know why I did it. It was a really good movie. I can't remember what prompted me.
That's a good one. See, I haven't heard of a lot of these ones though. Now that are coming in, like I've never watched The Matrix.
No.
Tambo.
Yeah, it's a popular one. I've definitely seen it once.
I've never seen this one. Full Metal Jacket. Inception. Never seen that.
Inception's good. Yeah, it's a Leo movie back in the day. That's a good one.
Never heard of Reacher.
That is.
Nope.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's like a comedy. I don't know. Is that a comedy? I thought that was like I think it's a comedy, but
here's one of my favorites for sure. Have you seen Tommy Boy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Boy's good. Tommy Boy.
That's a classic. That is an absolute classic for sure. Tommy Boy is great. And then what's the other one with David Spade? And this is probably one of my favorite. Kid Rock's in it. David Spade. It's the comedy.
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. I love Joe Dirt. That's definitely up there. Top 5 for me. Have you seen Joe Dirt?
No.
Oh, you got to see that one. That's.
I got to see that. I just wrote it in my notes. I know I got to do rounders first, but
this guy's.
All I got to say is best poker movie all time.
Kenny Willman is the man, though. That's our boy. But I was just gonna say,
Joe.
What
Dirt
about?
is so good.
They asked this earlier. This is a Christmas tradition in my house. I've seen this one at least 30 plus years. I got maybe almost 40 now. Actually, aging myself. But Christmas Vacation.
Is that Chevy the shoot your eye out?
No, have you ever seen Christmas
Story.
Vacation? National Lampoons.
No.
Oh my God, you guys! Man. This is insanity right now.
I'm on the hoop side of you guys can roast them about the meat stuff. You can roast me about movies and shows all day for sure.
This is a good one. I can't fully remember what happened in it, but I remember watching it and I remember it being very, very good.
Yeah, it's really good. That's definitely a good movie.
You hit Nade's thing. Yeah, Nade's, Nick, whatever one you just said really got people. Christmas
Shitter's full. He doesn't even know what that means because he's never seen the movie. Hoop, you've seen National Lampoon.
I've seen it, yeah, but I can't. I can't. Maybe I just have a bad memory because I can't. I know it's funny. I just can't remember a lot of the details of it.
Title: Have you seen The Notebook?
No.
I thought
don't
maybe
ever watch that shit.
Oh, this is a good movie, actually. No. I watched this one a bunch of times. The Town.
Yeah. Was that Boston? In Boston,
right? And they actually filmed it. Like my guy was in
Fenway Park. It was in Fenway Park, right? There's some scenes in Fenway. That was really good.
Kenny Z. We got all the Kennys. Kenny Willman is Ham Hawk, and then we got Kenny W, our guy. But Kenny Z was in here earlier. I got to meet him at me and Rio were at the live final in Boston together. I was tagging along with him, and we got to go there, and he was telling me the story about them filming it in and around and like right there. Like they did it for real at the place. It was all set up properly. Yeah. So he was showing me all the stuff.
Remember the Titans is very good. And then this is one of my favorites for sure. From our guy Neighbors, Training Day. I love Training Day. I love there's certain actors that like, if they're in something, I'm immediately intrigued. And Denzel Washington, I think is probably the best. Like, I'm not like a movie connoisseur, but like to me, Denzel Washington's like the best actor ever.
Yeah, I love his stuff. What about when
I might have got? What about have you guys watched this one? Maybe I finally got one you guys haven't watched.
I haven't seen that one. No,
you watched it.
Yeah, there's sequels too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. The only reason I watched that on the trip from Greece, they didn't have rounders, so I went with that.
This is excellent too, man. Blue Chips.
Yeah,
and He Got Game. Those are old school, man. Those are like someone said, any old movie is good. These are great movies if you're writing them down. Did you ever watch Friday? Next Friday, any of those movies? Okay.
Mm-mm.
He Got Game is great. Somebody said. What about
if you had to watch a movie or shows? Like what do you like more?
We got to save shows for next time, but shows
now it has to be shows just because the movies there's just no movie options. And I'll tell you what, we just if you're interested, this is a funny one. If you're interested, we started Landman. That is very good. You've seen it, right, Tambo?
All through even the new episodes.
I haven't watched the new ones. I'm just waiting for season 2 to finish, but that is elite viewing.
Season 2 slower starting, I will say, but it's still good. I'm just saying
Yeah.
season 1, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton is like the best for that, and he plays the
he's
role
so good.
exactly what he is. So
He's so good. Yeah, it's just him. It's literally him. He's like such a good actor. And then the other one we were watching was Tulsa King.
yeah, crushed all those. That's really good too.
Good. Yeah. So far, so good. We just kind of started those. So yeah, then I guess the shows would be like a different thing. But there's
I can't believe he is like 75 years old now. Stallone.
yeah, God, man.
He's third in
a
bad
pleasure.
spots, but it's.
I
pretty
did
good.
watch this one, Animal
So
Kingdom.
good.
That was good, right?
Oh yeah.
That was very good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So you boys watching movies when football's on?
Not movies, but sometimes
I'll double dip sometimes.
I'll watch
Sometimes
a
shows.
show and
Two TVs or like you following on your
Like
phone or something?
computer, laptop,
Computer,
laptop,
iPad, and yeah, I got the show going or something. That's why I'm saying I can't remember any movies or shows because usually I'm double dipping.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I'm making it so that it's done by the time required. Like, so I'm not missing at least the second half and sweats and things like that.
Absolutely not. These things got to be the worst thing of all
So this
time.
is where I have never seen any Star Wars. I've never seen any I don't know, the Batman, all that shit. Like I can't do any of that crap. I don't do any.
But Batman
Yes.
had one good movie though. It was what's the one with Bane or whatever that one was? Like Dark Knight. Same as my chair. This is a Dark Knight chair somewhere. I don't know where it is.
What do you mean? This was a phenomenal game. You can't name me one movie that I'd rather watch than Browns Titans yesterday. That's when you get two bad teams. Sometimes you get some great games. That was a good game.
Yeah.
That was a good game. Joker, True Romance.
We had a buddy that we nicknamed Dark Knight. Like totally normal dude, like so fun to hang out with, like just an awesome guy. But when he got like blacked out drunk, like alter ego, he would just like flip a switch. So we nicknamed him like Dark Knight. Like he would go crazy when he had too many drinks.
All right, we got a meeting to go to. I forgot about, so we'll get off here now, but we'll save it. We'll keep it rolling. Like this one, we have not exhausted. Like we did food. There's going to be some people that don't watch. We might have to bring it back on a Sunday morning when we can get all the comments in there. But as this, the weeks are progressing, we get closer. Usually during the playoffs, we do a ton of this stuff as well. But it's always a good time. There's going to be some fun stuff, some more giveaways upcoming. Title, any final thoughts from you, my friend, before we get out of here? I know you're going for back-to-back tonight, you and Rio both, so exciting slate ahead for you guys. Another great call-out just for the win last night, but anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
I'll share it with one of you guys today. I'll be very happily doing that, but no, good luck to everybody out there. Yeah, it's a good football game. Two teams that are definitely in the hunt, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah, we're shipping NBA as well tonight. Again, congrats to Newlands. Big night. Yep. The other night, 5K, took it down, so hopefully you have another good night as well. Hoop, anything final from you before we get out?
Well, good luck to everyone tonight. Should be a good game and keep the momentum going.
Yeah. We got to send Title's ass to go watch that movie right now. Hit up Rounders. You won't regret it. I promise you. It's like
Rounders good.
Title's the Knish as well. He's like the guy, like, stick to your edge, stick to your game, play smart. You will be set for life. You will never have to worry about this. He's like, let those people chase all those milli makers and be idiots in the megas. I'm going to grind people down for 20% and make my cash that way. And that's
like 1.8% nowadays, Tambo. It's tough out there, but yeah, I'm a nit-ish when it comes to stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, no, great movie. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching. For Title, for Hoop, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.